everyone, it's Shannon here, and welcome to a Cherry on Top's November video hop. This month's theme is Thankful, so today we're making a thank you card. The dies we're featuring today is the Multiple Leaves Die-n-stencil set. I won't actually be using the stencil that comes with this set, but these two dies here, this first one that I just used adds that stitch detail, and then the second one will die cut out the leaves. You can see they're all grouped together, so it's very easy to line them up and get all of your 6 leaves cut out very fast and quickly. We're now going to ink blend them. I did die cut them out of some white cardstock, so to add some color, we're going to ink blend. I'm using these new shader brushes from Waffle. This is this shader brush 1 Plus, and these ones are double-sided, which is kind of nice. Kind of get double the amount of colors you can blend with them. And I'm going to ink blend these leaves with a bunch of Distress inks, using a combination of them for each one of these leaves, so we get just a really cool transitions of colors where they layer on each other and kind of mimic basically real fall leaves. For the first one I used aged mahogany and walnut stain. The second one, the big one with the red, had a bunch of colors: fossilized amber, fired brick, aged mahogany, even crackling campfire. So I'm just working my way through all of my 7 different distress ink colors, doing a combination of them over these leaves, and I do have them kind of marked down or labeled on screen so you can kind of see which ones I do for which leaves, but really just kind of mix them up and play and see which combos you like to get together. Something new I did this time was that Evergreen Bough, and I really like that kind of lighter minty green in the mix. After I did those leaves, I went ahead and repeated that process 3 more times, so I had 3 sets of leaves, but I did have some extra, so you don't need to quite do so many. Now we're going to cut kind of a frame here. I'm using the nested stitched oval die set. One of the dies from that set, die cut an A2 panel of craft cardstock to kind of create my front panel. Then I'm going to grab this new print and script thank you die from Waffle. Die cut the scripty thank you out of some beautiful kind of matte gold cardstock. The specialty cardstock will really add a kind of professional look to our card. So here is my thank you die cut out. I also die cut that scripty thank you 3 times out of black cardstock, and now I'm going to stack that up. Because this thank you is so thin, the best way to add dimension to it is by stacking cardstock. So after I stacked all the 3 layers of black together with liquid adhesive, I then placed the gold thank you on top, and that just makes this beautiful, very thin stacked or dimensional sentiment for our card. I love the way this turned out. Now we're going to move on to our sub sentiment. I have the Thank You Duo stamp set. Just going to grab one of the linear sentiments here for our sub sentiment. I am going to heat emboss, so I am going to apply some anti-static powder down first. Then I will ink up our sentiment in Versamark embossing and watermark ink, stamp it a couple times, and to kind of make it match the die cut sentiment, I went ahead and dipped it into some gold embossing powder, and now I will heat set with my heat tool. Once I finished heat setting that sentiment, I then went ahead and trimmed it out off camera, so it's this sentiment strip. And now we're going to move on to starting to kind of put our card together. The first thing we're going to do is adhere an A2 panel of black cardstock to the front of an A2 top folding white card base. The only reason why I'm using a white card base here is just because it's easier to write your sentiment inside if you have a white card base, but this could have easily just been a black card base, and you could have used like a white gel pen or a gold gel pen to write your sentiment on the inside. I'm going to take that craft panel that we cut with one of the nesting stitched oval frames and place it on top, and then place my thank you inside, both of my sentiments, I guess, my thank you and the sub sentiment, and then I'm going to start arranging my leaves around my sentiment to kind of create this oval reef of leaves that frame that sentiment really nicely. So once I get all my leaves kind of arranged, and I did have a couple left over, I didn't quite use all of them, and once I have that arranged, I'll then pull that sub sentiment out of the way and then place a piece of press and seal. Press and seal is kind of like a saran wrap. You can get it, it's made by Glad, you can get it at your grocery store. It's really handy for card making, especially when you arrange your die cuts. Then you can kind of pick them all up and then add your adhesive and then stick them back down instead of trying to re-stick them one by one, or stick them one by one. So I'm just adding some liquid adhesive to that craft panel and to the back of the leaves, and then I'll place them down on to that panel. I do still have that thank you picked up, and that's fine. That's perfect because I will be adhering that to the card front in just a minute. But before I do that, I'm going to add some foam adhesive to the back side of the panel and the leaves. I don't have to add any foam adhesive to our sentiment because if you remember, we stacked up the die cuts for that thank you, so that's already dimensional. I just removed the backing on the foam adhesive, and now I'm going to go ahead and add some liquid glue to the back side of that stacked sentiment, and then we'll be ready to add this to our card front. So I'll flip this over. The foam adhesive is going to pop up that frame of leaves and just create some really beautiful shadows. Once I get it placed down, I'm going to remove the foam adhesive. Some of the leaves might kind of pop off. I'm just going to use a little bit of liquid glue to kind of stick them back down if they didn't quite get enough glue to hold them before. Now I have my sub-sentiment ready to go. I've added some black foam adhesive to the back side of it, and I'll just place it over that gold thank you in that center of our oval reef, and that will complete the card. I'll hold it to the camera here so you can get a good look at this fall leaf reef. I love the beautiful colors in all of the leaves, and then that gorgeous contrast of the black center with our gold sentiment, and again those colorful leaves. They just pop so beautifully against that black. I hope you guys enjoyed today's card and video. If any questions of the products I use, please check out the links below in the description, and make sure you check out the other videos in today's hop. See you next time.